The Fool and the Awakening. Once upon a time, in a serene village called Qinghe, nestled beneath the misty hills of western China, life moved as gently as clouds drifting across the sky. Surrounded by bamboo forests and winding rivers, the village was a place of simplicity and peace. In that village lived two brothers, Wei Jun and Wei Liang. Wei Jun, the elder, was a prodigy from a young age. By 6, he had memorized the Analects, could debate with the village scholars, and spoke with the poise of a seasoned teacher. Villagers bowed as he passed, calling him Little Master, certain he was destined to become a sage or a high official. Wei Liang was different, not foolish exactly, but certainly peculiar. Once he fed polished pebbles to chickens, thinking it would make their eggs shinier. Another time, he lit incense and prayed to a wooden bucket, believing it had a soul. Despite his oddities, Liang was gentle, cheerful, and utterly devoted to his brother. Children called him the Fool of Qinghe. But Liang adored Jun. He followed him everywhere, a small, smiling shadow. One spring morning under the plum tree in their courtyard, Jun held a scroll and gazed toward the misty horizon. "Liang," he said, "I've made my decision. I'm going to Mount Yun Temple." Liang's eyes sparkled. "Really? To become a monk?" "To seek enlightenment," Jun replied firmly. "I've studied for years. It's time to go deeper." Liang clapped. "Then I'll come too." Jun hesitated. "Liang, this path isn't for everyone. It demands deep understanding." Liang beamed. "I don't need to understand everything. I just need to be near you." And so the brothers set off, one carrying scriptures, the other dried plums and a bamboo flute. They walked for 5 days, crossing valleys and rickety bridges, until Mount Yun Temple appeared perched on a cliff, like a bird's nest hidden in the clouds. The abbot welcomed them with kind eyes and a slight nod. Within weeks, Wei Jun shone. He absorbed teachings like parched earth welcoming rain. He meditated motionless as a stone statue, birds perching on him. Fellow monks began calling him Brother Jun. Wei Liang was another matter. He got lost looking for the meditation hall, bowed to a statue of a farmer thinking it was a bodhisattva, and whistled lullabies when told to maintain silence. Some monks snickered, others sighed. Even Jun, though still loving, grew impatient. "Try harder," he gently urged one night. "You can't be careless here." "I will," Liang promised. "I just learn more slowly." The next dawn, the abbot summoned Liang to the main hall. "Liang," he said, "I have a task for you." Liang's eyes widened. "What is it, master?" "From now on, you will sweep the temple, each morning and evening, the courtyard, paths, and steps. Keep everything clean." Liang bowed deeply. "Yes, master, I'll do my best." That afternoon, Jun asked the abbot, "Will sweeping help my brother understand the teachings?" The abbot smiled. "Words aren't what he needs. Let the broom teach him." From then on, Liang rose before dawn. While mist still clung to the stones, he stood outside with broom in hand. The soft swishing of bristles echoed gently, like morning music in the clouds. He worked slowly, attentively. He gathered each fallen leaf with care. At first, it was just a chore. But slowly, Liang noticed strange things. He saw how the wind always pushed leaves into one corner, as if on purpose. He noticed how dry leaves hid in stone crevices, refusing to leave until he gently coaxed them out. And no matter how thoroughly he swept, by morning the courtyard was blanketed again. Every day he swept. Every day the leaves returned. One morning, while sweeping the steps to the temple gate, Liang paused. He looked back at the path he had cleared the day before, now covered in golden leaves. The wind blew. Leaves fell again. That night, Liang approached the abbot, still holding his worn broom. "Master," he said, "may I ask something?" "Speak," the abbot nodded. "I sweep every day, but by morning the leaves are back. No matter how hard I try, the courtyard is never clean for long." The abbot smiled, as if he had awaited this question. "Because the trees still shed their leaves," he said. "That is their nature." Liang was silent. Then his eyes widened, a look of revelation. "Like my mind," he whispered. "Some days I feel peaceful. Other days, worries return. No matter how hard I try, thoughts come back." The abbot placed a hand on his shoulder. "Yes, the mind is like the earth. It sheds anger, fear, sorrow. That is natural." Liang looked at his broom as if seeing it anew. "So, just like sweeping leaves, we must sweep the mind each day?" "Exactly," said the abbot with a gentle laugh. The next morning, the abbot summoned all monks to the courtyard. "Today," he announced, "Brother Liang will deliver the teaching." A ripple of surprise spread. Some monks exchanged glances. Even June looked up, startled. Liang stepped forward, broom in hand, face tense but eyes steady. "I'm not good with words," he began. "I don't know many scriptures, but I sweep the courtyard every day." At first I thought it was just a chore, but then I noticed, no matter how well I swept, leaves always returned. No one tells the trees to stop shedding. No one controls the wind. I realized my mind is the same. Each day I worry, I get upset, I miss home, and if I don't clear those thoughts, they pile up like dry leaves. So I think the goal isn't to keep it clean forever, it's to sweep gently, regularly, without complaint. He bowed. "That's all I understand." Silence blanketed the courtyard. No one laughed, no one spoke. Then the abbot nodded and said, "This is true wisdom, not from books, but from clarity of heart." Wei Jun sat frozen. He had studied for years, read hundreds of texts, debated with scholars. Yet today, his so-called foolish brother had spoken a profound truth, with nothing but a broom in hand. That night, under moonlight glinting on stone tiles, Jun approached his brother. "You were wonderful today," he said softly. Liang chuckled. "My legs were trembling." "But you taught me something no lecture ever has." Liang blinked. "Really? I only said what I saw." Jun bent down, picked up another broom. "Then let me sweep with you." And the two brothers stood side by side, gently brushing away the freshly fallen leaves, not just from the ground, but from their hearts. From that day on, Liang was no longer called a fool. He never became a great preacher or scholar, but he was always the first to rise, broom in hand before the sun appeared. The wind blew, leaves fell, the broom whispered its song. He never complained. To Liang, each morning was a new beginning, each evening a soft ending. The leaves were not litter, but friends, teachers, a reminder of impermanence. Gradually, others changed. Some who had once mocked Liang now stood watching him sweep, then picked up brooms themselves. They said nothing, but their eyes showed respect. Others realized knowledge alone wasn't wisdom. Sometimes insight comes from repetition, with awareness. Wei Jun changed most of all. He spent more time with Liang, no longer rushing to dissect complex doctrines. He sat quietly by the temple eaves, watching leaves fall, asking, "How do I clear my heart today?" One day, as the abbot passed by and saw the brothers sweeping together, he smiled and murmured, "Sometimes the shortest path to enlightenment lies just beneath your feet." Seasons turned. Spring came and went. Old brooms were replaced with new ones. The courtyard was always filled with leaves, but no longer with complaints. One day, a group of travelers visited Mount Yun Temple. Among them was a white-haired scholar who had roamed the land seeking sages to learn from. He asked the abbot, "Has anyone here grasped something truly deep?" The abbot said nothing. Instead, he led him to the back courtyard, where a young monk was sweeping beneath the gentle light of dusk. The broom moved slowly, in rhythm with the earth's breath. "That is Wei Liang," the abbot said, "not versed in scriptures, but he has learned to quiet his heart." The scholar watched for a long time. Then he bowed deeply. Years passed. When the abbot passed away, the monks held 7 days of prayers. Many esteemed monks came, but the one chosen to hold the incense stick in the central altar was Wei Liang. He was old by then. His hair had silvered, his back bent slightly, but his eyes remained as clear as an autumn well. Beside him lay his old bamboo broom. During the chanting, a breeze rustled the courtyard. Leaves fell again. Wei Liang did not look at them. He simply smiled. A young novice beside him asked, "Brother Liang, why do the leaves keep falling?" "Because the trees are still alive, and because our minds are not yet still." "Then how do we stop the leaves from falling?" "We don't need to. We just need to be here, each day, with broom in hand and peace in heart. That's enough." Final words. No one can keep the mind spotless forever. Like leaves on a tree, thoughts, emotions, worries, they fall daily. But like Wei Liang, we can learn to accept that, not with urgency or judgment. We only need a broom. It could be a breath, a prayer, a small act, to gently sweep away our troubles. Not to keep the mind clean forever, but to return again and again to its original clarity. Wei Liang's story is ours too. We all have falling leaves in our hearts. And we all can learn to sweep them with mindfulness, patience, and a heart seeking stillness.